And Fox 5's Morse Diggs is live tonight at the detention center with that video and reaction. Morse?
Well, videos have been made inside the Fulton County Jail before, entertainment, rap artists. Well, one was made recently clandestinely, and you would definitely qualify this one as adult entertainment. On the various floors of the Fulton Jail, there are small offices adjacent to the housing pods. A female staffer occupied one of those offices, but she's not alone. We intentionally cut the video where you see a hand of an inmate extended to the mouth of detention officer Kawana Jenkins. Jail staffers are all talking about the behavior of the forbidden contact between the Fulton employee and the prisoner that ended with Ms. Jenkins getting locked up, charged with improper sexual contact, reckless conduct, cruelty to inmate, giving inmate an improper item, and violation of oath of office. A retired sheriff supervisor and law enforcement instructor gave his reaction to the video.
There are a lot of things that raise flags beyond just the intimate act itself. Where is the supervision, particularly inside of a facility that's experiencing so many problems, that this staff member has this type of time to spend with an inmate and to make this type of video? It's very repulsive.
Sheriff Pat Labatt terminated Ms. Jenkins. He wrote, "The actions of this one individual are certainly not a reflection of the men and women of the Fulton County Sheriff's Office. The vast majority of employees are to be commended for their integrity, commitment to service, and the work they do day in and day out." And let me tell you about an interesting nugget about how they were able to identify this particular inmate from his tattoos from Northwest Atlanta. I'm Morse Diggs, Fox 5 News.
All right, Morse, thanks. Meantime, a freak accident takes the life of a woman in Clayton County.
Officials say she was run over by a forklift. Sky Fox 5 flew over the insurance auto auction where it happened. Investigators believe the woman was in front of one of the gates to the salvage lot when a forklift carrying a car came through the gate. They say the driver did not see the woman standing there. Investigators say there's no evidence of intent or criminal negligence and do not plan to file criminal charges at this time.
New at 5, Bright from the Start is investigating after a 5-month-old boy died in the care of an Elbert County daycare. It happened at God's Glory Daycare. The child's mother tells Fox 5 that the daycare worker found her son on his belly, face down, with his nose bleeding. She says he couldn't roll over. Bright from the Start says that the daycare is in good standing and has a quality rating. We reached out to the daycare center. They tell Fox 5 they can't comment on the pending investigation. Officials have 30 days to determine if there was indeed negligence.
A toddler caught on camera stealing packages with the help of a teenage accomplice. The thieves struck at an apartment complex in Stockbridge. Fox 5's Deidre Dukes is live in Henry County tonight. Deidre, the victim shared video of the disturbing crimes.
Yeah, disturbing indeed. This little girl, too young to know right from wrong, seen taking those packages off of someone's doorstep. The victim and her family say they are worried for the little girl. A teenager and her little accomplice are caught on camera stealing packages. A doorbell camera recorded the disturbing crime.
You see, it looks like a teenage girl come up the stairs with a little, maybe 2 or 3-year-old little girl with her.
The packages were taken off Adriana Gaither's doorstep. It happened at the Glennet Lanier Crossing Apartments in Stockbridge earlier this month. Gaither received an alert that the packages were delivered the afternoon of March 11th. When she went to collect them, they weren't there. Surveillance video showed the girls come through the apartment breezeway just moments after a delivery driver dropped off the packages.
She looked at the camera, the teenager saw the camera, and then the little girl went to grab the package and he told her to put it back, and then maybe a minute or 2 minutes later, then she sent the same little girl to grab the package, and then she ducked down and then grabbed the second package.
Gaither couldn't believe it.
I have a niece around that age, so it's just shocking to just know that someone that young is helping commit a crime.
Gaither believes believes the girls may live at the complex. She hopes someone will recognize the girls and intervene before they find themselves in real trouble.
Like, say if someone would have had a dog or anything, they could have opened the door and it's like a dog could have got the little girl, or anything could have happened, like, because they're kids.
Gaither's mother-in-law was so upset after viewing the video, she posted it on social media. She worries the little girl's parents don't know she's being taught to steal.
This could be a babysitter that's taking a child around, you know, to steal, and the parents may not know about it. And hopefully it's not the parents or the sister or the auntie, or hopefully it's not them.
Now, Gaither said she did ask around and that no one recognizes the girl or the teenager. She did file a police report, and anyone with information is asked to contact the Henry County Police Department. In Henry County, Deidre Dukes, Fox 5 News.
All right, Deidre, thanks. Let's take you outside, show you a live look out over Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Another day where we just got that much better than yesterday weather-wise.
Another nice one out there. And so Fox 5 Storm Team Chief Meteorologist David Chamley found his way out to the weather deck. David, not a bad day out there today.
No, Tom McCourtney, it really depends on where you are here in North Georgia. We talked about it yesterday. We're going to have a bit of a mixed bag where we had the clouds and some showers in extreme North Georgia, kind of a mixture of clouds and sun in the metro area, and further to the south, more sunshine and therefore more warmth. And look how all this turned out. Look at our current conditions. Look at, we're in the 50s in places like Canton, Gainesville, Blairsville. They've had some wet weather up there. We're well into the 60s here in the metro area. In fact, that 69 is the warmest we've been all day. And then further south, how about that? 75 in LaGrange and 73 in Thomaston with quite a bit of sunshine. We turn on Fox 5 Live Viper, and our friends in the northeastern suburbs getting a little windshield spotters there, stretching from Watkinsville and Athens and right on up the I-85 corridor there in Jackson County. A little heavier rain in the mountains of North Georgia. Look at that rolling across Ellijay and Blue Ridge and Blairsville, and all that's kind of moving off to the east. And back behind that, we don't have any more. So once that rain there in northwest Georgia skirts on out, it's gone and not coming back until we see Saturday morning. So tonight, we'll just deal with some partly cloudy conditions till the sun sets at 7:51, and temperatures fairly mild tonight. We're going to keep it in the low 50s in a lot of spots across North Georgia, upper 40s there in the mountains. And you're ready for this? Tomorrow, a lot of sunshine and boom, temperatures right there in the low 80s. We'll talk more about that as well as the chance of rain and storms this weekend. It's coming your way in a few minutes.
Looking forward to that warm up. All right, David, thanks. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office canceled grand jury proceedings today, delaying a possible indictment vote against former President Donald Trump.
They were expected to hear from one final witness regarding a 2016 hush money case involving the former president and adult film star Stormy Daniels. Sources tell Fox News the jurors are on standby for tomorrow. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell has announced another interest rate hike.
Fox 5 anchor Russ Spencer is at the live desk with more. Russ?
Well, Tom, after weeks of speculation, the Federal Reserve decided on a small but symbolic step, raising the federal funds rate by 1/4 percentage rate to the highest rate since 2007, as it tries to bring down inflation to its 2% target. Chairman Powell also talked about his thinking with respect to future rate hike decisions.
My colleagues and I understand the hardship that high inflation is causing. We will closely monitor incoming data and carefully assess the actual and expected effects of tighter credit conditions.
Some economists called for the Fed to pause the hikes after the collapse of 2 U.S. banks earlier this month.
Maybe we get a soft landing, but either way, I think we end up in the same spot where the consumer pulls back a little bit, growth slows down. It's what the Fed wants to see.
Amid the economic uncertainty, Biden cabinet officials arrived on Capitol Hill to defend the president's 2024 budget proposal.
We, the United States, have a positive vision for the future, a world that is free, that is secure, that is open, that is prosperous. And it's our belief that the budget that we put forward will help advance that vision.
The plan calls for $6.8 trillion in spending and would raise taxes on corporations and the wealthy to help strengthen Medicare and Social Security. Republicans oppose the plan.
We'll probably run out of digits at some point under the Biden administration, but we're going to ignore it.
Now, House Republicans have yet to produce their own budget plan. They are expected to lay out their proposal sometime next month. Tom?
All right, Russ, thanks for the latest. Two brothers are okay after an early morning fire in DeKalb County. It happened on Hugh Howell Road in Stone Mountain. Officials say that the fire started in the garage. A vintage Ford Mustang was destroyed and a pet cat was killed. So far, no word on what caused those flames. A pair of communities have until April the 21st to recommend what should happen to 3 indicted elected officials in Douglas County.
Governor Brian Kemp appointed former state Supreme Court Justice Leah Ward Sears to both committees, also made up of elected officials across Georgia. They must decide whether to recommend suspensions for Douglas County Commission Chair Ramona Jackson Jones, Commissioner Henry Mitchell, and Tax Commissioner Greg Baker. All 3 are under indictment for bid rigging. So far, none of them have resigned. Another defendant is former purchasing director Bill Peacock. His attorney told the Fox 5 I-Team Peacock is retired, living out of state, and was not involved in any crime.
Bill Peacock is absolutely innocent of any criminal charges. The only thing Bill Peacock is guilty of is being an outstanding purchasing director for the county and following the direction of the county elected officials.
Could Peacock wind up cooperating with prosecutors? Fox 5 I-Team investigator Randy Travis looks into his attorney's answers on that question, coming up all new on Fox 5 News at 6.
Also in the news here at 5 o'clock, the race for Clayton County's next sheriff isn't over. The special election is headed to a runoff. Interim Sheriff Levon Allen got a 47% of the vote, and Clarence Cox came in at 29%. The runoff election is slated for April the 18th. In Cobb County, residents in the newly formed city of Mableton voted for new leaders. The race for mayor will head to a runoff as well. Aaron Carmen will take on Michael Owens on April the 18th.
You can find the full results as well as a handful of other races inside the Fox 5 News app.
The Georgia Senate votes to update their rules after a European trip last fall that cost taxpayers more than $100,000. I'm Claire Sims at the state capitol. I'll have the details and an exclusive interview with the lieutenant governor just ahead.
Plus, the CEO of Moderna grilled on Capitol Hill. How much the company is hiking the price of their COVID vaccine.
The news moves fast, and so do you. So take the news with you. You can scan the code right here to download the Fox 5 News app now. Inside the app, hit the Watch Live button to stream Fox 5 News wherever you are. Get alerts for the biggest stories and the latest news headlines, weather coverage, sports breakdowns, even I-Team investigations. So what are you waiting for? Scan the code now and take the news with you. Download the Fox 5 News app now.
Get the power of the Fox 5 Storm Team in the palm of your hand. Scan the code right here to download the Fox 5 Storm Team app. Inside the app, you'll find everything you need to plan your day and keep your family safe. Set your location to get instant notifications for weather near you and even get life-saving alerts when severe weather threatens. From your hourly forecast to a full 10-day breakdown, it is all at your fingertips. Scan the code now and take the Fox 5 Storm Team with you.
Good Day Atlanta is here to help you start your day.
Whether you're up at 4:30, 5, or 6 a.m.
Give us 15 minutes and you'll get all the news you need with stories that matter to you.
A forecast to plan your day.
A shooting at a high school in Denver leaves 2 educators injured. The suspect, a student at the school, is still on the run. Both victims were taken to the hospital. One was in serious but stable condition. The other was having surgery and was in critical condition. Georgia state senators who want to travel across the pond will now have to foot the bill themselves.
Members of the Senate have voted to clarify the chamber's rules on travel after the Fox 5i team and other media outlets raised questions about a trip taken by the outgoing Lieutenant Governor and Senator Pro Tem last fall. Fox 5 political reporter Claire Sims spoke exclusively with current Senate leadership about why the changes were needed.
Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones says these rule changes are not directed at anyone specifically, but he says the Senate is not going to allow anything like this to happen again.
It is imperative that tax dollars be used to further the work of this body as we work for the taxpayers.
4 months after a highly scrutinized European trip by members of the Georgia Senate, the chamber has ruled out taxpayer-funded international travel in the future. The Fox 5i team was there in November when then Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan returned to Atlanta after a multi-day visit to London and Germany. Both he and then Senate President Pro Tem Butch Miller were weeks away from leaving office, but oversaw what was purported to be an economic development mission at a cost of more than $110,000.
Resolutions, the yeas are 54, the nays are 0.
Tuesday, the Senate voted unanimously to update their rules. They now explicitly prohibit senators from taking trips outside the country with Senate funds supplied by taxpayers. No members can take a Senate-funded trip outside of the state without prior approval, and no one in their final 6 months of office can travel at Senate expense.
Hopefully we'll avoid any of those mishaps in the future.
We want to make sure that the Senate rules are clear, that Senate dollars that are spent by senators or including the President of the Senate are done so properly.
We spoke exclusively with current President Pro Tem John Kennedy and Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones after the vote.
We don't think that someone leaving office, should take advantage of state funds, quite frankly.
In a memo the pair issued earlier this month, they concluded the November trip amounted to a taxpayer-funded vacation. That same memo says beginning April 1st, Senate leadership will publish monthly reports online detailing all out-of-state travel expenses in an effort to improve transparency. However, the legislature is exempt from Georgia's open records law, and the public only learned the full costs of the November excursion because Senate leadership chose to reveal them. The lieutenant governor would not commit to changing that law, saying both the House and Senate would have to agree.
I think what we did is a great step.
I reached out to both Jeff Duncan and Butch Miller for a comment on the rule changes, but so far, neither has provided one. At the state capitol, Claire Sims, Fox 5 News.
A bill that would restrict vaping in public spaces is now on Governor Kemp's desk. It puts vaping and smoking on the same level. Georgia's 2005 Smoke-Free Air Act says that people cannot smoke indoors in most public places. A person who violates the law commits a misdemeanor and can be fined $100 to $500. Moderna is hiking the cost of its COVID shot to $130 a dose once the government stockpile runs dry later this year.
Right now, the government pays about $26. Senator Bernie Sanders went after Moderna and its leadership at a hearing today, saying that the company made billions during the pandemic on the backs of Americans after U.S. taxpayers shelled out billions to fund the vaccine. Moderna's CEO defended the price bump.
This is not the same product. We're expecting a 90%, 90, reduction in demand. As you can see, we're losing economies of scale. We must deal with supply chain complexity.
Moderna's CEO said he plans to work with hospitals and homeless shelters to expand access to the vaccine to the uninsured.
All right, turning our attention now back outside to the weather. Let's show you a live look through our Georgia Power camera. You can see some more clouds there in that shot, but pretty nice temperatures today.
A couple showers scooted through the area earlier today as well, David.
Yeah, mainly up to the north. Folks on the south side saw more breaks in the clouds, and they got a lot more warmth. So we had a wide range of temperatures out there. We're all going to get warm through the day tomorrow and on into Friday. I'll show you that here in just a sec. Right now, we're dealing with a few of those rain showers. They're moving from west to east up there across the northern counties. No thunderstorms with this, but just some rain, and that kept the temperatures up there into the 50s. And you look back out to the west, and look, we can start seeing breaks in the clouds. There's no more rain after this little disturbance pulls on through. We got some smooth sailing for the rest of the week, and we're talking about a huge warm-up as well. All right, so here's where we stand right now, temperature-wise across the region. Look at the contrast. We got 73 in Zebulon, then you go up to Calhoun, up in Gordon County, you're at 58, 52 cool degrees in Blairsville, 53 in Clayton, and then the 60s are kind of in between all that. 57 in Rome, but you go down to the LaGrange and they're at 75. So yeah, quite the range we're dealing with. All right, so here's what's going to happen tonight. We're just going to see a partly to mostly cloudy sky to begin, the sun setting at 7:51, and then we see a clearing trend toward the midnight hour. Temperatures are just going to kind of hang out in the 50s in a lot of spots, upper 40s in other areas. We'll call that mostly clear and milder, really, for this time of year with that temperature there at 47, so fairly seasonal. And then how about this tomorrow? Mostly sunny and really warm. You see our average high at 68, and I'm looking about 81 come tomorrow afternoon. How about that? All right, so your weather snapshot working on for you right now. Milder temperatures overnight and sunny and warm on Thursday. Partly cloudy Friday, still warm, but then rain and thunderstorms rolling here for Saturday morning. We've got the timeline of that coming your way in about 10 minutes.
All right, sounds great, David, thanks. Time now for a look at Skyfox traffic in the evening rush hour. We are continuing to follow a semi-crash in Smyrna. It's on South Cobb Drive between 285 and Highlands Parkway. We did receive reports that this crash knocked down a utility pole and impacted multiple vehicles. Right now, all lanes are blocked. Traffic is being diverted off at Highland or Oak Drive. Avoid this area. You might try South Atlanta Road as an alternate route. Staying in South Cobb, we are also following a crash on 285 southbound before South Cobb Drive. One right lane is blocked, adding to a jammed ride before 75.
Still ahead here as we continue. It's cheaper to buy a house right now than it was this time last year. How buyers are taking advantage of the break in home prices.
Plus, a research trailblazer here in Atlanta. We hear from a molecular biologist who is working to encourage women and minority students to take a chance on a career in science.
Injured?
The news moves fast, and so do you. So take the news with you. You can scan the code right here to download the Fox 5 News app now. Inside the app, hit the Watch Live button to stream Fox 5 News wherever you are. Get alerts for the biggest stories and the latest news headlines, weather coverage, sports breakdowns, even I-Team investigations. So what are you waiting for? Scan the code now and take the news with you. Download the Fox 5 News app now.
Get the power of the Fox 5 Storm Team in the palm of your hand. Scan the code right here to download the Fox 5 Storm Team app. Inside the app, you'll find everything you need to plan your day and keep your family safe. Set your location to get instant notifications for weather near you and even get life-saving alerts when severe weather threatens. From your hourly forecast to a full 10-day breakdown, it is all at your fingertips. Scan the code now and take the Fox 5 Storm Team with you.
Good Day Atlanta is here to help you start your day.
Whether you're up at 4:30, 5, or 6 a.m.
Give us 15 minutes and you'll get all the news you need with stories that matter to you.
A forecast to plan your day.
For the first time in a long time, it's cheaper to buy a house right now than it was the same time last year.
And buyers are taking advantage as home sales increased across the country last month. Fox's Jake Carolexis is in Seattle with a closer look at this housing market trend. Jake?
Courtney and Tom, February 2012 was the last time the year-over-year home prices decreased. This compares the average price of a house now compared to the same time a year ago. A realtor we spoke with says these price dips don't happen often, so buyers should move quickly.
We had a much-needed market correction.
Realtor Brittany Baumann sells houses in and around Seattle. She says her sales have been going up.
When I'm working with buyers, I've been competing against other offers again, and offers are getting aggressive again.
A big reason why is lower prices. According to the National Association of Realtors and Freddie Mac, the average home price fell to $363,000 in February, and mortgage rates are under 7%.
In the past few weeks, interest rates have dipped back down into that 6% range, and that's been encouraging for buyers to come back in.
Home sales rose across the country from January to February. The biggest jump is here in the West, with more than a 19% increase. But Baumann says buyers need to be aware sellers might not keep prices low for long.
You've got to look at it as a long-term game and get in as soon as you can to still get a piece of these lower house prices.
The National Association of Realtors says the jump in nationwide home sales from January to February was the biggest month-to-month increase since July of 2020. In Seattle, Jake Carolexis, Fox 5 News.
Residents of a Sandy Springs neighborhood are being driven crazy by this intersection. I'm Tyler Fingert. Coming up, I'll tell you what police are doing about it.
And the plan moving forward through tonight and into tomorrow is these clouds are going to move on out. And as they move on out, the sunshine comes back and temperatures are going to soar. Yeah, a lot of spots are going to start topping 80 degrees. We'll let you know how long that trend will last next.
Injured.
The news moves fast, and so do you. So take the news with you. You can scan the code right here to download the Fox 5 News app now. Inside the app, hit the Watch Live button to stream Fox 5 News wherever you are. Get alerts for the biggest stories and the latest news headlines, weather coverage, sports breakdowns, even I-Team investigations. So what are you waiting for? Scan the code now and take the news with you. Download the Fox 5 News app now.
Get the power of the Fox 5 Storm Team in the palm of your hand. Scan the code right here to download the Fox 5 Storm Team app. Inside the app, you'll find everything you need to plan your day and keep your family safe. Set your location to get instant notifications for weather near you and even get life-saving alerts when severe weather threatens. From your hourly forecast to a full 10-day breakdown, it is all at your fingertips. Scan the code now and take the Fox 5 Storm Team with you.
Good Day Atlanta is here to help you start your day.
Whether you're up at 4:30, 5, or 6 a.m.
Give us 15 minutes and you'll get all the news you need with stories that matter to you.
A forecast to plan your day.
All right, let's talk about our weather once again and take a live look outside through our Fox 5 tower cam, this time over the CDC, Stone Mountain, on a kind of an overcast evening tonight.
Yeah, overcast, but yet the temperatures getting up a little bit higher, just keep creeping up warmer and warmer throughout the week, David.
Got a little bit of a spring feel to it when you get the cloudy sky and it's not as chilly, right? Now, folks up in North Georgia have pointed out they're in the 50s, so they're going, what are you talking about? It's kind of cool here. Folks on the south side are going, it's pretty warm. We got some readings in the 70s. Now, we're all going to get warm through the day tomorrow. It's what it looks like from our Georgia Power camera, and we're looking at some breaks in the clouds already. We've up to 69. That's been our high so far today. Started the morning at 46, which is just about right on target. So those temperatures certainly more seasonal than what we've seen, and now we're going to go above the norm as we march on into your Thursday and Friday. Here's what I'm talking about. Got some rain up there in North Georgia. Look at the temperatures there in Rome, Canton, Gainesville, Blairsville. You're in the 50s. Then we kind of transition into the 60s here, and then we're down into the 70s on the south side. So, yeah, we got quite the range, running from 51 right now in Blairsville to 76 in LaGrange. How about that? All right, here's Fox 5 Live Viper. Got a little bit of spotty showers. Athens, Watkinsville, Danielsville, up through Jackson County, Banks County. A little heavier downpour right now between Dawsonville and Ellijay. Dawson County and Gilmer County getting drenched right now. It's not a thunderstorm, but that's some pretty good rain going on. Skirting off to the east. Should be over with here within the next couple of hours. When we get into the evening, we put a lid on all the rain because there's nothing back here in Alabama. So this is the last of this little bit of a disturbance moving on through. Here in town, go partly cloudy with a mix of some clearing trend at times. Temperatures, well, there we are in the upper 40s and low 50s, so not too far off from the seasonal average. Then tomorrow we're going to bust it loose with the sunshine. Here we go. Man, look at all those low 80s. 82 popular temperature. Athens, all the way in Rome and Cedartown, LaGrange, Thomaston. Yeah, and kind of a warm 83 out towards the lake country there in Eatonton and Putnam and Greene counties out I-20 way. Here's what's going to happen. This warm front that's kind of poised out there to our southwest rolls on through. That's going to open up the door for some very warm temperatures through tomorrow. Now, as that happens tonight, probably put up with some patchy fog in some spots. We'll have to watch that. Then by the time we get into early tomorrow morning, we're smooth sailing. I mean, look at all that sunshine we're going to see right on through your afternoon. Yeah, you're going to have spring fever bad tomorrow because those readings are going to be really, really warm. And the humidity's not really back yet. It's going to kind of creep back, but very, very comfortable indeed. And then a nice night. Thursday night into Friday morning, we'll keep it really mild. Some areas not getting out of the 60s for an overnight low. And then by Friday afternoon, a mix of sun and clouds, but it's still going to get warm again. We're still going to get into the lower 80s in a lot of spots. Now we're going to cloud up Friday evening, and by early Saturday morning we start seeing the prospect of a shower and thunderstorm. Stop the clock there at 4 a.m. up in northwest Georgia, and then the northwest corner of the state getting into the act along about 8 a.m. And that's what's going to move across us late morning, first part of the afternoon. Still not thinking that Saturday is going to be a washout, but the rain chance is higher the first half of the day than the second half. Now, this is spring light. I put these temperatures on here, 81 tomorrow, 82 on Friday, to point out that we're not near the record highs. And how about that? 89 back in 1995. That's our warmest temperature ever recorded in the month of March. So, yeah, it's going to be warm tomorrow, but it's certainly not any record warm. Then we get a little cooler mid part of next week with a chance of some showers. So here's the extended outlook. Yeah, we're going to keep it really mild to warm right on into the weekend. Again, a lot of activity as far as rain, but it's going to be the first part of Saturday and then late Sunday on into Monday, I think, is a better bet. And then we'll back it into the 60s again Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. We'll continue to monitor our temperature trend. It's coming your way here in just a minute.
Thanks, David. People who live in a Sandy Springs neighborhood say that they're being driven crazy by drivers doing illegal U-turns at an intersection near 285 and Glen Ridge Drive.
Fox 5's Tyler Fingert joined Sandy Springs Police today for a traffic enforcement operation that officers hope will curb the problem.
Glen Ridge Drive at Glen Forest Road in Sandy Springs has become a popular place to break a traffic law.
Hey, I'm Officer Theus with the Sandy Springs Police Department. I'm pulling you over for the no U-turn.
Sandy Springs police officers have been cracking down on illegal U-turns after a number of complaints from people who live nearby.
They're trying to get to where they're going in a congested area, and they just don't want to be patient.
U-turns are clearly not allowed here. There isn't just 1 or 2 signs at the intersection, but 4. Sandy Springs police say that should be enough of a clue you shouldn't do it.
It's annoying because sometimes it's very difficult to make a turn.
The Sandy Springs Traffic Enforcement Unit has focused a lot of effort at the intersection in the last month.
I do have to write you a citation today for no U-turn, okay? There's 4 on them.
Officers say they've written more than 300 tickets to drivers for illegal U-turns at that intersection in just the last 3 weeks, which the department says is a staggering amount.
I'm pulling you over for no U-turn.
During Wednesday morning's hour-long operation, officers ticketed 5 people for doing illegal U-turns in front of them. Police say the constant U-turns became a problem when construction on 285 closed a turning lane. Instead of detouring to Roswell Road like instructed, drivers are using the intersection to turn around.
The goal is to try to keep people from having accidents, tearing up property, things of that nature.
Neighbors say they're glad police are taking this seriously, but some say it's funny that drivers would do this right in front of officers.
They see police and they're still making U-turn, as if they are not paying attention.
Sandy Springs police say this operation is not about making money, just safety. They say they'll be back out here in the weeks and months ahead. In Sandy Springs, Tyler Fingert, Fox 5 News.
Time now for another look at Skyfox traffic and the evening rush hour outside as we track a new crash in Henry County. This is on I-75 northbound right before Highway 20. 2 far left lanes are blocked here. You can see the Hero units and fire rescue on the scene. This is causing some very heavy delays. Traffic just starting to inch by. Highway 23, a good alternate route. We're keeping an eye on a semi-crash in Smyrna. This is on South Cobb Drive between I-285 and Highlands Parkway. We received reports that this crash knocked down a utility pole and impacted multiple vehicles. Right now, all lanes are blocked in both directions, so avoid this area. You can also try South Atlanta Road as an alternate.
Coming up, investigators finally get a break in a 30-year-old case. We have a live report next.
Plus, a bill to include anti-Semitism in the state's hate crimes law is now dead. What the bill's sponsor is saying about what happened.
Let's
The news moves fast, and so do you. So take the news with you. You can scan the code right here to download the Fox 5 News app now. Inside the app, hit the Watch Live button to stream Fox 5 News wherever you are. Get alerts for the biggest stories and the latest news headlines, weather coverage, sports breakdowns, even I-Team investigations. So what are you waiting for? Scan the code now and take the news with you. Download the Fox 5 News app now.
Get the power of the Fox 5 Storm Team in the palm of your hand. Scan the code right here to download the Fox 5 Storm Team app. Inside the app, you'll find everything you need to plan your day and keep your family safe. Set your location to get instant notifications for weather near you and even get life-saving alerts when severe weather threatens. From your hourly forecast to a full 10-day breakdown, it is all at your fingertips. Scan the code now and take the Fox 5 Storm Team with you.
Good Day Atlanta is here to help you start your day.
Whether you're up at 4:30, 5, or 6 a.m.
Give us 15 minutes and you'll get all the news you need with stories that matter to you.
A forecast to plan your day.
There's been a break in a nearly 30-year-old cold case. DeKalb County's district attorney says they've identified a woman found dead in Tucker back in 1993.
Let's get over to Fox's Alex Whitler, who joins us now at the live desk with a look at how investigators cracked this case.
Yeah,
Alex?
it's really incredible, Tom and Courtney. For nearly 30 years, Rebecca, or Becky Burke, has been an unidentified body, but today she has a name. Investigators still need to determine who killed her and why.
We can finally put a name and a face with this rendering. But the work doesn't end here. Exactly what happened to Becky Burke?
DNA technology has answered a lot of questions, but it can only tell investigators so much.
Today, nearly 30 years later, I am grateful to share that our victim has been identified as Rebecca Becky Burke, a 15-year-old woman who was last known to reside in Cobb County in the Marietta or Smyrna area.
In September 1993, a crew found a woman's remains in Tucker, just off of North Lake Parkway near I-285. Her body was decomposed, and there was no identification near her remains, forcing the case to go cold. Thanks to a $500,000 grant from the federal government, DeKalb investigators used new DNA technology to determine that woman is Rebecca Burke. Those resources were first used in 2018 to identify the Golden State Killer.
FIG was first used to identify the Golden State Killer in 2018 and has since been utilized to solve over 600 cases and bring justice to numerous victims of violent crime, such as rape and murder.
The DeKalb County District Attorney's Office is the only one in the country to receive this grant, and now there are more than 24 other people the team hopes to identify.
The task force will use these funds to catalog, report, test, identify, and return to the families the unidentified remains of 27 individuals, including Becky Burke.
If you know anything about Becky's death or were familiar with the wooded area in which she was found almost 30 years ago, you can call this number anonymously. It's 404-471-2444. At the live desk, Alex Whitler, Fox 5 News.
All right. Alex, thanks. Still ahead, a research trailblazer talks about the importance of being a mentor. The Fox Medical Team's Beth Galvin will have her story coming up right after the break. David?
Tom, we've got some very active spring-like weather in here over the next several days. Now, first, it's going to be sunny and it's going to be warm. But as we march on through the end of the week, we're going to trade that sunshine in for some rain and thunderstorms. We'll talk about the timeline of that in just a minute.
Fox 5.
The news moves fast, and so do you. So take the news with you. You can scan the code right here to download the Fox 5 News app now. Inside the app, hit the Watch Live button to stream Fox 5 News wherever you are. Get alerts for the biggest stories and the latest news headlines, weather coverage, sports breakdowns, even I-Team investigations. So what are you waiting for? Scan the code now and take the news with you. Download the Fox 5 News app now.
Get the power of the Fox 5 Storm Team in the palm of your hand. Scan the code right here to download the Fox 5 Storm Team app. Inside the app, you'll find everything you need to plan your day and keep your family safe. Set your location to get instant notifications for weather near you and even get life-saving alerts when severe weather threatens. From your hourly forecast to a full 10-day breakdown, it is all at your fingertips. Scan the code now and take the Fox 5 Storm Team with you.
For Women's History Month, we're bringing you the story of a research trailblazer. When Lydia Villa-Komaroff became a molecular biologist, she says that almost nobody around her looked like her.
Now, 50 years later, she is still working to encourage female and minority students to take a chance on a career in science. The Fox Medical Team's Beth Galvin is here now with her story. Beth.
And Tom and Courtney, Villa-Komaroff is now 75 years old, and she says she is proud of what she has accomplished during her career, but she's also proud of being a mentor. Lydia Villa-Komaroff discovered science when she was about 9, growing up in a big Mexican family in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
I'm not sure I knew what a scientist was, but it was something that intrigued me.
Her parents were the first in their families to go to college. Her dad, the first to graduate from high school.
I don't ever remember them sitting down and saying, you will go to college, but it permeated everything we did. And I think the other really important factor was that I felt that if I didn't leave New Mexico, I would get stuck there. And science was a way of thinking about a way out.
Villa-Komaroff went to college, became a molecular biologist, got married, and found herself rising in a research field where almost no one looked like her.
But the main thing is, if you really love it, then you should find a way to do it.
In the early 1970s, she says there were fewer than about 20 Mexican-American researchers in academia. So Villa-Komaroff and a handful of other researchers founded the Society for the Advancement of Chicanos and Native Americans in Science, or SACNAS, which now includes Hispanic and Black college students and academic researchers.
The last meeting was in Puerto Rico. We had over 5,000 people attending. As a woman, you know what it's like to walk into a room full of men. And you're sort of always on your guard a little bit because that's still true. The same is true in science. And so this is a forum in which you can immediately feel the whole 5,000 people relaxing.
And Villa-Komaroff says she's proud of her research. She was part of a team that discovered you could produce insulin from bacteria.
And that opened up an enormous industry. That's where the biotech industry started.
And she and another researcher found if you expose a protein linked to Alzheimer's disease to nerve cells, it will destroy them.
And that was the first direct proof that amyloid could have a detrimental effect on nervous cells.
But she's also proud of being a mentor.
I've had people years later come up to me and say, I'm still in science because of you. Or I stayed in science because of you.
Now 75, Lydia Villa-Komaroff is still working to make science more inclusive.
A lot of kids think that they can't be a scientist because they don't know anybody who's a scientist. And that's why I think programs like the one you're doing is so important. If you work hard and if you really love something, then you will make a success of it.
And so for that 9-year-old that might be catching this story, what would you say?
Oh, go for it, girl. Definitely go for it.
And Villa-Komaroff encourages young scientists to build a support network around them. She says it could be your friends or your family or mentors in your field. And she says when you start to doubt yourself, they will be the ones that will remind you that they've got your back and you've got what it takes to succeed. You know, and that can really be everything for a first-generation college student or a first-generation, even high school, graduate.
These young people are like sponges, and sometimes all it takes is a little inspiration from somebody who's been such a success.
Yeah, she's very inspiring. Great story.
Beth, thanks.
All right, let's show you a live look outside. Looking out over LaGrange, a beautiful blue sky out in that direction. It's a day that's been warmer for some and a little bit cooler for others, but not bad for most of us.
That's right, cloudy for some, clear for others. Like up there in LaGrange, David, kind of been what you would call a mixed bag today.
And it's certainly a mixed bag. What strikes me, that image there from LaGrange, the first thing that pops out is there's some greenery on the area, trees. Yeah, things are starting to pop as we get in here in the springtime and the leaves are a budding. Pollen counts high, but not extremely high today, so there's some good news. There's some rain up there in North Georgia. Everybody else, though, kind of a mix of clouds and sunshine and a mixture of temperatures as well. 50s to the north, 70s to the south. There's the wet weather up here in North Georgia, Northeast Georgia. It's moving away, moving off to the east, but man, that's pretty good downpour now moving into the Dahlonega, Lumpkin County area. Heads up there, White County, Habersham County. That's coming your way, and the back edge of the rain now has moved through the I-75 region there in North Georgia, and that's going to be it across the region. So for this evening, sun setting at 7:51. Temperatures fairly mild and seasonal, and will just gingerly fall down out of the 60s into the 50s by early tomorrow morning in a lot of areas. A few upper 40s showing up, but a definite clearing trend. And then we're going to be in store for a whole bunch of sunshine tomorrow. We're going to get warm in a hurry. Look at this. They're going to be right there in the 70s by lunchtime, and then knocking on the door of 80 in a lot of spots come Thursday afternoon. How about that? 81 up in Rome this time tomorrow, 80 down in LaGrange, 81 in Eatonton. Yeah, those readings a few degrees above the average here for the latter stages of March. Now, something we're going to be watching is a storm system out to our west on Friday that starts kind of rolling in this way. Big severe weather threat out there across the lower Mississippi Valley area. But we kind of get into the act here in North Georgia with a threat level of 1 out of 5, a marginal risk. That's going to be early on Saturday morning for storms capable of some damaging winds. We'll talk about that and the timeline coming up tonight at 6.
David, we'll see you then. Thanks. Still ahead here, Hartsfield-Jackson officials are gearing up for another busy spring travel season. How many people are going through the airport in the next couple of weeks? Fox 5.
The news moves fast, and so do you. So take the news with you. You can scan the code right here to download the Fox 5 News app now. Inside the app, hit the Watch Live button to stream Fox 5 News wherever you are. Get alerts for the biggest stories and the latest news headlines, weather coverage, sports breakdowns, even I-Team investigations. So what are you waiting for? Scan the code now and take the news with you. Download the Fox 5 News app now.
Get the power of the Fox 5 Storm Team in the palm of your hand. Scan the code right here to download the Fox 5 Storm Team app. Inside the app, you'll find everything you need to plan your day and keep your family safe. Set your location to get instant notifications for weather near you and even get life-saving alerts when severe weather threatens. From your hourly forecast to a full 10-day breakdown, it is all at your fingertips. Scan the code now and take the Fox 5 Storm Team with you.
Good Day Atlanta is here to help you start your day.
Whether you're up at 4:30, 5, or 6 a.m.
Give us 15 minutes and you'll get all the news you need with stories that matter to you.
A forecast to plan your day.
DeKalb County police say a man is dead after being shot in a Stonecrest neighborhood. Police found 59-year-old Willie Johnson with gunshot wounds yesterday afternoon on Sunflower Place. We brought this to you as breaking news yesterday on Fox 5 News at 5. Investigators have not identified a suspect or a motive. Clayton County police have arrested a youth shelter employee for child molestation, statutory rape, and sexual assault.
According to detectives, 25-year-old Caleb Randolph committed crimes with at least one child. His mother, Mia Kimber, is the facility's executive director. Police say Kimber and the facility's program director, Monica Jones, face charges of trying to cover up Randolph's crimes. At the state capitol, a bill that would define anti-Semitism has died for the year.
State Representative Esther Panich sponsored House Bill 30. It would have included anti-Semitism in the state's hate crimes law. But the Marietta Democrat says that bill died when a state senator moved to change the definition.
He defined anti-Semitism as only the negative perception of Jews. Well, there are plenty of positive perceptions of Jews that get Jews killed, such as believing that Jews are wealthy.
The current legislative session ends a week from today. Representative Panich says they'll have to start from scratch during the next session. The state house has passed a bill to better compensate innocent people who have been wrongfully convicted.
Currently, there's a way for exonerees to get compensated, but it's a long and difficult process which requires a hearing in front of lawmakers. Under the proposed legislation, the compensation would be between $50,000 to $100,000 for each year the exonerees serve behind bars. The bill has already been to the House and could go before the Senate next week.
Still ahead, Atlanta police have arrested 2 more people in connection with the mass shooting near Atlantic Station. What we're learning about the suspects.
Good.
The news moves fast, and so do you. So take the news with you. You can scan the code right here to download the Fox 5 News app now. Inside the app, hit the Watch Live button to stream Fox 5 News wherever you are. Get alerts for the biggest stories and the latest news headlines, weather coverage, sports breakdowns, even I-Team investigations. So what are you waiting for? Scan the code now and take the news with you. Download the Fox 5 News app now.
Get the power of the Fox 5 Storm Team in the palm of your hand. Scan the code right here to download the Fox 5 Storm Team app. Inside the app, you'll find everything you need to plan your day and keep your family safe. Set your location to get instant notifications for weather near you and even get life-saving alerts when severe weather threatens. From your hourly forecast to a full 10-day breakdown, it is all at your fingertips. Scan the code now and take the Fox 5 Storm Team with you.
Good Day Atlanta is here to help you start your day.
Whether you're up at 4:30, 5, or 6 a.m.
Give us 15 minutes and you'll get all the news you need with stories that matter to you.
A forecast.
A live look at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Officials are gearing up for another busy travel season. Airport officials expect 4.4 million passengers to travel to, from, or through Atlanta's airport from this Sunday to April 9th. Next Friday is expected to be the busiest day with an estimated 333,000 passengers rolling through the airport for spring break. Officials encourage early arrival. Also be sure to check the airport's website for the latest on road closures and construction in the area.
Fox 5 News at 6 starts right now.
And we begin tonight at 6 with a break in a nearly 30-year-old cold case. Good evening. I'm Russ Spencer.
I'm Courtney Bryant. DeKalb County's district attorney says they've identified a woman found dead in Tucker in 1993.
Fox 5's Alex Whitler joins us now from the live desk with a look at how investigators cracked the case. Alex?
Yeah, Russ and Courtney, for nearly 30 years, Rebecca, or Becky Burke, has been an unidentified body, but today she has a name, and investigators are still working to determine who killed her and why.
We can finally put a name and a face with this rendering. But the work doesn't end here. Exactly what happened to Becky Burke?
DNA technology has answered a lot of questions, but it can only tell investigators so much.
Today, nearly 30 years later, I am grateful to share that our victim has been identified as Rebecca Becky Burke, a 15-year-old woman who was last known to reside in Cobb County in the Marietta or Smyrna area.
In September 1993, a crew found a woman's remains in Tucker, just off of North Lake Parkway near I-285. Her body was decomposed, and there was no identification near her remains, forcing the case to go cold. Thanks to a $500,000 grant from the federal government, DeKalb investigators used new DNA technology to determine that woman is Rebecca Burke. Those resources were first used in 2018 to identify the Golden State Killer,
and has since been utilized to solve over 600 cases and bring justice to numerous victims of violent crime, such as rape and murder.
The DeKalb County District Attorney's Office is the only one in the country to receive this grant, and now there are more than 24 other people the team hopes to identify.
The task force will use these funds to catalog, report, test, identify, and return to the families the unidentified remains of 27 individuals, including Becky Burke.
Anything about this woman's death or were familiar with the wooded area in which she was found almost 30 years ago, you can call this number anonymously. It's 404-471-2444. At the live desk, Alex Whitler, Fox 5 News.
Yeah, really amazing that technology can make these kind of advances.
Sure
Alex,
is.
thanks.